Psyche's Testament, POV.
They say love is the domain of gods and mortals alike, but what they do not tell you is how love tests your soul, bends your will, and demands your everything. Mine was a love that defied reason and endured trials even the gods deemed impossible. I am Psyche, and this is my story. I was born into a mortal life of beauty and privilege, though my beauty became a curse. Worshippers abandoned the altars of Aphrodite to sing praises of me. The goddess's envy festered, and she sent her son, Eros, to punish me. He was to strike me with his arrow and bind me to a loathsome creature. But fate, or perhaps love, intervened. Instead, Eros fell for me. I did not know it was him who carried me away to the mysterious palace where I lived as a queen yet never saw my benefactor. By day, the halls were empty but rich with gifts and music. By night, he came to me cloaked in darkness, his voice gentle and his presence a comfort. He warned me never to try to look upon his face. Though I was curious, I agreed, for in his company I felt safe and cherished. Yet doubt crept in, fed by my jealous sisters. They planted seeds of suspicion, convincing me my unseen husband was a monster. Against his trust, I succumbed to their poisonous words. One night, I lit a lamp to see him as he slept. What I saw was no monster, but Eros himself, radiant and breathtaking. In my trembling hand, a drop of oil spilled from the lamp, waking him. His eyes, filled with hurt, met mine for a moment before he vanished, leaving me alone and desolate. Grief consumed me, but it was no match for my resolve to find him. I wandered through harsh lands, seeking Eros, but instead, I found his mother. Aphrodite, still wrathful, seized the opportunity to torment me with tasks meant to break me. The first task Aphrodite set before me was to sort an enormous pile of seeds: wheat, barley, millet, lentils, all jumbled together. The pile was mountainous, and my hands trembled as I surveyed the impossible task. As night fell, despair overtook me. Tears blurred my vision, and I whispered a plea to the gods for aid. To my astonishment, a rustling sound filled the room. A colony of ants, tiny but determined, swarmed the pile. With relentless precision, they separated each seed into its rightful place. By dawn, the task was complete. Aphrodite's scornful gaze bore into me as she acknowledged my success, but I could see her frustration growing. The second task was more perilous. Aphrodite ordered me to collect golden fleece from the ferocious rams that roamed a nearby meadow. These beasts were massive, their horns sharp as blades and their tempers fearsome. I hid at the edge of the meadow, watching them clash and roar. Fear gripped me, but as I sat beneath a tree, a gentle whisper came from the river god nearby. He advised me to wait until the noonday sun when the rams would rest in the shade. Heeding his words, I waited patiently. When the meadow fell silent, I crept forward and gathered tufts of golden fleece caught on the brambles. My heart raced with every step, but I returned unscathed, clutching the fleece that glowed like sunlight. The third task tested my courage further. Aphrodite demanded that I retrieve water from the river Styx, a feat that seemed utterly impossible. The river was guarded by sheer, jagged cliffs that rose to impossible heights, and its waters were known to be treacherous. As I stood at the base of the cliffs, despair threatened to overwhelm me. But once again, divine aid came to my rescue. An eagle, majestic and powerful, swooped down from the heavens. It seized the crystal vial from my hands and soared upward, its wings cutting through the air with precision. I watched in awe as it dipped the vial into the deadly waters and returned it to me. I offered my gratitude to the eagle, though my heart knew this was not the end. The final task was the most harrowing. Aphrodite sent me to the underworld to retrieve a fragment of Persephone's beauty in a box. The journey to the underworld was fraught with danger. As I approached the entrance, I offered coins to Charon, the ferryman, and he carried me across the river. The stench of death and decay was overwhelming, but I pressed on. Along the way, I encountered souls who begged for help. An old man drowning, a woman carrying a heavy burden. But I remembered the warnings I had been given. Showing compassion would doom me. With great sorrow, I ignored their pleas. When I reached Persephone, the queen of the underworld, she received me kindly. She handed me the box but warned me not to open it. As I ascended back to the world of the living, curiosity gnawed at me. Perhaps the beauty within could make me worthy of Eros. Against my better judgment, I lifted the lid. A deathly sleep overcame me, and I collapsed to the ground, lifeless. It was Eros who found me. Despite my betrayal, his love endured. He cradled me in his arms, his tears falling onto my still form. With a tender touch, he wiped away the remnants of the sleep that had claimed me. Carrying me to Olympus, he presented our case before the gods. Zeus himself granted me immortality, binding my fate to Eros forever. Now, as I walk among the gods, my heart is at peace. The trials I endured taught me the true nature of love. It is not a fleeting feeling, but a force that requires trust, sacrifice, and the strength to face the unknown. Eros and I are no longer bound by secrecy or shadows. We are free. Our love eternal. Our story a testament to the power of the heart. To endure and triumph.